What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Click Pop Podcast. Justin, Mark, how are you?
Good. Freshly back from another day of strikes. I was at Warner Brothers today, and it was wild.
As they say in Hollywood, ciao. That's hello and goodbye.
There you
I
go.
thought I'd point that out.
They
Say
appreciate
hello.
your support, Justin. I'm sure that you're the reason they keep going. To see you there every day.
I'm just documenting.
There
I'm
you
a
go.
documenter.
It's history. It's history. So, speaking of history, it now sounds like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are going to have their fight in the historic Coliseum. Well, that hasn't been confirmed yet, but Elon was heavily hinting at that when he made his X today on X, whatever we're calling that. The rub is that Elon said the UFC will not be involved, that Mark and Elon's personal foundations will be handling the whole thing. And then Mark came out later and said, no, I want the UFC to handle this. First of all, are you surprised that it is moving forward? Did you, because like we talked about this last week when Mark Zuckerberg gave a town hall to his Meta employees and said, I don't think it's happening. It's like, what is it? The back and forth. Even yesterday, I read a headline saying, oh, how about we have a noble debate instead? What gives?
Well, they're probably trying to finalize details, and there's probably a lack of proper communication between both parties. There's a lot of moving parts. Both these guys are not just sitting around unemployed. These guys are running major corporations, so their day is filled with stuff to do. So the fight is probably just a portion of that day, obviously. So, there's other things going on that's kind of delaying the communication between the two of them. Also, within that information now, we're all learning. We're also learning that to further complicate things, we're also learning that Musk is going to have back surgery and has had some kind of injury.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Yeah.
This whole thing just sounds so stupid to me. It's just a bunch of hype. I think people are, looking forward to seeing these two guys slug it out and beat the crap out of each other. But have you ever seen two nerds fight? It's going to be like a bitch slapping each other, and I don't think it's going to be a fight like we imagine it's going to be. I think it's going to be a huge disappointment to everyone, and it's just going to be a big thing to make more money for two rich guys. I'm not even going to watch it. It's a stupid hype event. It's not even going to be a fight. It's just two rich guys making more money.
Aren't they donating the money to charity though?
Elon says that the money is going to support veterans.
Hmm.
Of which war, I don't know, but veterans nonetheless. I agree with you, Mark, to an extent. I think that Elon believed that it would be two nerds fighting and it would just be a bitch fight. And then when he saw these pictures of a ripped, supple Mark Zuckerberg and heard about his blue
Did you just
belt,
call Mark Zuckerberg supple?
you goddamn right I did. The man shredded.
Getting
And,
racy.
his blue belt in jiu-jitsu, I think Elon started to be like, oh no, like how about a noble debate instead? I was expecting one of these, and this guy's actually training for
Kangaroo
it.
fight.
Yeah.
It's I still don't believe it. It's going to be ridiculous. And it's nice they say they're going to donate the money to charity. I guess I have no reason not to believe that'll happen. These guys probably don't even care about the money. You would think, but who knows? I mean, I just think that people are expecting them to get together and beat the crap out of each other. But it's just ridiculous. It's not gonna be happening. If it does happen, I'll eat my words and I'll be shocked, and then I'll watch the highlights on YouTube.
I feel like Elon's the type of guy who's going to get stressed and he's going to start fighting, not fighting fair. He might start pulling his hair or like poking him in the eyes or grabbing his balls or something. He seems like that kind of guy. Zuckerberg is a student of the Brazilian arts. So he looks like he's very serious about all this. And Elon is kind of treating it like a joke. I wouldn't be surprised if Elon sneaks a knife into the match and just jabs him like a tiny little knife. Your thoughts?
I just hope that Musk calls him supple before he grabs him in the balls.
You supple bastard.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know. Would you
Well,
be?
we'll
Would
see.
you
Every
be
day,
afraid
every
of?
day we learn. Every day we have new information that comes out. We'll see what happens.
Would you be afraid of Mark Zuckerberg in a bar fight if you ran across that guy? I just don't see this. Yeah, exactly. I just don't see this as being a. I don't care how ripped he is. I don't care how much he's lifting weights. I just don't see this as being a serious fight.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. And plus, I could see Elon having his guys on the sidelines, tell him to step in if it gets too violent. You know, they jump into the ring and stop the fight. I just really, I think this whole thing is just going to be a giant letdown for people.
Well, the positive thing is, I wonder if more like things and events like this are going to happen at the Coliseum moving forward. Is this going to be sort of the beginning of something? Is this going to start a trend now, or things happen there? Is this the rebirth of the Coliseum?
That would be cool. Get some more concerts there or something, or more UFC fights. I mean, Dana White, I'm sure, would love if this paved the way for UFC. Not for every single one, but like for the biggest fight. Like
Right.
if Conor McGregor comes back to fight Nate Diaz or something huge, you can't ask for a more epic setting than the Coliseum.
Right. And this is maybe this fight then is gonna bring in the kind of the resources needed to get the ball rolling with that. They're gonna fix things up, bring it up to code, so to speak, and then have it ready for the future.
Yeah, by the way, I noticed that the Coliseum was in the news the other day that they completed a study on the septic system that was below the Coliseum, things that people had thrown away, and just to see what they had eaten and things that they had all these, they were eating all this, high end food, and they found some coins that people thrown into the sewage, and it was kind of interesting. They're actually studying the Coliseum for archaeological discoveries even after all this time. They're still discovering things there.
I love that.
Cool. Yeah, that is cool.
Elon says in this tweet that everything done will pay respect to the past and present of Italy. So what does that mean? They're going to bring in some statues. They're going to put Gucci everywhere. Like what are we talking about? Gucci gloves? Like what's
Versace shorts?
Bitch slap gloves. You can wear.
Someone will be painting on the ceiling while the fight's happening. Like,
are they going to fight in the nude?
They should. They should go full grease.
This reminds me of the celebrity boxing matches. Remember that when they had that show on celebrity match? And I remember one time, I guess it was the guy who played Danny Partridge, fought the guy who played Greg Brady.
Oh yeah, Danny Bonaducci.
Yeah. And he actually. I think he actually knocked him down. I think Greg Brady wasn't expecting him to be so serious. He actually kind of beat him up, which was kind of embarrassing. But come on, Danny Partridge, don't beat up Greg Brady. He's a nice guy. It wasn't very cool.
And of course,
I always loved that show. I thought that was kind of funny. But this whole thing kind of reminds me of that. I wonder if we're going to see more, like you mentioned, more celebrity boxing matches. But maybe it'll bring back the show.
And I'm sure Jake Paul will be on the undercard versus somebody. He seems to be the go-to guy. All right. Or maybe, Mike Tyson, he once wanted to fight a tiger, I believe, at a zoo, and he offered the zookeeper like $10,000 to let him into the cage. Maybe he can finally fight that tiger.
Yeah, because the tiger was bullying another tiger.
Yeah.
But this is, it's funny. I remember George Foreman was fighting, and I think Muhammad Ali did too. They fought. Which one? One of them fought Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And then they had people like fighting basketball players and karate experts.
Ali fought a sumo wrestler once.
Rocky Balboa fought Thunder Lips.
That'd be a great idea for a Rocky movie, though. He ends up fighting some.
Remember, he fought Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
He fought Hulk Hogan, Thunder Lips.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Hulk Hogan.
He's got to be there. He's got to be there at this fight.
Oh, we need Hulk Hogan there, dude. Are you ready, brother?
Get him, brother. Come on, Mark.
It's sad. It's interesting that boxing as a sport in general is kind of just fallen to the wayside. People don't even really watch it anymore as they used to. So it's funny there's so much interest in this fight when in the sport of boxing as in general isn't really as popular as it was when we were younger. For instance, I remember watching all the Muhammad Ali fights on television and the Tyson fights. I couldn't wait to watch them. And now it's like nobody even really cares about boxing anymore. It's mostly the extreme sports, the kickboxing and things like that. So it's funny that this boxing match is so popular. People have so much interest in it because the sport itself is kind of dying or going to the wayside. Not dying, but it's not what it used to be for sure.
Maybe this will bring it back. Maybe this will spark something.
You know who I'd love to see, what billionaire I'd love to see get in the ring with one of these guys next is Leon Black. Have you heard about this guy?
No, but I want to see Soros fight somebody.
And Soros. He might be too old. He might have to put his son in. Leon Black is the guy who keeps being exposed for taking part in Epstein Island chicanery. And he, like, the latest stories about him and the girl who's autistic, they're awful. Go look them up. But like, if there's going to be like a real rematch at some point of billionaires, I would like to see Leon Black in there getting
Fighting
some
who? Fighting who?
Well, who is Andrew Tate? No, I don't know.
Well,
Who? We need a billionaire who's also young. I don't know, LeBron James or something. Somebody that's like a young guy who can really whip his ass.
I'll watch it.
All right. So should we do Hawaii? No, you know what? Before we get to the horrific stuff in Hawaii, which is like shocking, the devastation. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. Let's talk about something that's a little fun. North Korea has opened up their Pyongyang golf course to amateur golfers. They want people to come and golf as part of a new tourism initiative. I don't know. Maybe they're anticipating Trump getting back into office or something, and they think that he's going to open relations with North Korea. I don't know. But they want you to come and golf. Now, this is obviously a fake picture, but the authoritarian regime is extending an invitation to foreign amateur golfers, not professionals, by the way, just amateurs, to partake in a tournament at the Pyongyang golf course. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It sounds right, but I don't know if I am. Aimed at fostering camaraderie with North Korean amateur counterparts, this initiative is facilitated through DPRK Tourism, North Korea's official tourism website. Gentlemen, I don't know if you golf.
I golf.
But would you risk it?
I ain't gonna risk it for the biscuit. Not going there.
I'd love to visit North Korea, but I think it'll be difficult to get into this tournament because probably all the spots will be filled by CIA agents that are secretly registering to play over there. But actually, I traveled to Russia during the Cold War. Yeah. I was actually in Russia when Brezhnev was in power. I had to get special permission from the U.S. government to go over there because I was part of an exchange program with our school. They sent 100 students to Russia and 100 Russian students to the United States. And I got the chance to go over there during the Cold War. It's very interesting. I would actually like to see North Korea. I think it'd be interesting to see. It'd be worrisome, but wow. It's probably good to interchange, have people go back and forth between the countries, but I don't know how much it's going to help anything, but I guess it's better than them building nuclear weapons.
Yeah. I mean, there is always a possibility that once you're there, probably not for someone from the United States, but maybe Kim Jong-un would unleash one of those like missile attacks on you, because apparently he used a different golf course as a missile testing ground. So you can't rule anything out there with that guy. And definitely don't try to steal anything from the clubhouse, because that's what got Otto Warmbier killed. He tried to steal something out of the hotel hallway. He almost made it out free. What would be huge, and I don't know if he would do this, but what would be huge for international relations is if Michael Jordan, an avid golfer, decided to go and play in this tournament, because as we all know, Kim Jong-un is a huge fan of the 90s Bulls. That's why Dennis Rodman's always over there having a great time.
Right.
he could get a Nobel Peace Prize if he went and played golf there. I believe this.
Well, that'd be a big name. That would be definitely a huge situation. I mean, I would love to hear about that.
I
This
mean,
could
the
all
thing
be-
is, you hope that this kind of stuff helps. To be honest with you, the more I think about it, the more it reminds me of when. I mean, it's like Dennis Rodman went over there, didn't really help anything, and actually, I remember Hitler had the Olympics in Germany. Nobody cared. That didn't really stop World War II, did it? So I don't know how much this golf tournament. I don't know. Maybe people should actually not go. I'm not sure. I don't know. Not sure what to think about this. I mean, it's good that he's doing this kind of stuff, and maybe he tries to. Maybe they start looking into other things besides building missiles. But I think that's kind of wishful thinking, to be honest with you.
I mean, the problem is when a situation like that, if you're golfing there, you could do something that's without, unbeknownst to yourself, that's considered culturally insensitive or what have you. And next thing you know, you're in jail just for playing golf. So
Right.
it's the wild, wild west over there. You have to really be careful.
So you wouldn't travel to North
No.
Korea, either of you?
No.
I wouldn't
you
want to
get
take the
Dante?
risk. I feel like I would mess up somehow, if I had like a drink or something, and then I was like, fuck Kim Jong Un, right? And then, as a joke, next thing you know, I'm disappeared. They're rearranging my teeth.
Yeah, I'm like you. I'm the master of cracking jokes at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Can't resist. I can't resist a good joke.
Yeah, it was a podcast, but it was a joke. You know what's weird? Is it possible that Kim Jong-un, who has no original ideas, sees how much success Saudi Arabia is having with the Live Golf Tournament,
That's
and
possible.
now he's like, "This is our start. Get me a Live Golf Tournament," and like this is all they could come up with. The Pyongyang Golf Tournament.
That's actually a very plausible theory.
He's
He's like kidnapping Phil Mickelson or something as we speak.
Well, it's funny. They're saying that Koreans really don't play golf. They're too worried. They're more focused on eating.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't have much time to go out golfing. So it is kind of a weird thing for him to pick to try to make this great golf course. But
It'd be cool if they made it should be a miniature golf course.
yeah. I guess it gives tourists something to do if they go over there. I mean, honestly, I think I'm a little different from you guys. I would like to go to North Korea. I'm a little bit more adventurous in that thing. But yeah, it's worrisome going over. Like I said, I was to Russia during the Cold War, and so many people warned me, don't go over there, because they were like, you're never going to come back.
Yeah.
And I actually had to sign some paperwork with the State Department that acknowledged that they had no way to get me out of Russia if something happened over there. This is like years ago, obviously.
What year was this, Mark?
It was like 1979. I got a chance to travel there.
Was there any were you ever in danger?
The funny thing is our group actually was detained by the KGB. It was actually an incident where that, back then you could not buy or sell things in Russia. Like you couldn't, all you could do, you could buy stuff at special stores that they had set up for Westerners, but you weren't allowed, you were allowed to trade things. So people would bring blue jeans and things they could trade to the Russian people that they couldn't get over there. But one of the people in our party, because we were young kids, they thought it'd be funny to trade for a Russian army uniform.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually were able to get the belt, the coat, the shirt, and the pants, and the last part was that big, furry hat that they wear. I forget the name of it, but they went back to get that, and the KGB moved in and arrested the whole group of students, or detained us at the hotel, and basically questioned our teachers for like half a day, just to basically scare us, to keep us away from the people. But that we were warned not to interact with people. But that was our one incident we had there. But overall, it was a great experience.
Well, that's another thing I'm worried about why I wouldn't go to North Korea, because a lot of times you have to go in one of these groups and some frat guy is like, hey, dude, let's go, break a window or something. And then next thing you know, you're all detained.
Right.
until the State Department can get to you. And our State Department right now, I don't know if they're so enthusiastic about getting people out of things.
No.
So I would reject this trip. However, it is a great opportunity for someone who maybe couldn't make it into the pros in America to go to North Korea and be like, look, I want to make golf popular in your country. Kind of like how NBA players go and play in China.
Yeah.
So you go there and you're like, hey man, I'm going to be like the greatest golfer in North Korea. And maybe, they blow you up. I'm not blow you up in a bad way, in a killing way, like blow up your career. Did you know Kim Jong-il got 11 holes in one the first time he played golf back in 1994, by the way?
That's what they say.
I'm surprised. Yeah. Let me pull it up.
Yeah. And they wouldn't lie. Why would they lie?
Well, I'm just shocked that that's all he claimed. I'm shocked that he didn't also try to claim that he invented golf because, he invented the hamburger. So
yeah.
He could have easily invented golf. Anyways.
So 11 holes in one seems reasonable.
I agree with you, Mark. This is either on purpose a CIA, like we're going to send our intelligence agents over there, or maybe they're trying to entrap our intelligence agents over there, and it's just like some high-level gamesmanship.
Yeah,
everything is calculated.
For sure. People in the group are going to be intelligence people. There's no way that they're going to not take this opportunity to send people over there. So, you're right. The sad thing is, even if you behave yourself and do everything right, somebody in your group could easily do something and your whole group gets detained. It is kind of a weird situation.
And then you're famous.
Yeah. It is very, very odd. But, it's interesting. It's too bad that that you can't travel to North Korea. I'm sure I've seen videos of it. It seems like be a fascinating place, to visit. But unfortunately, you're also supporting a guy who's a monster as well. When you go over there, you're giving this guy, some kind of financial support, and that's another thing to consider as well. Like, do you really want to be financially supporting this regime? I mean, who's basically supposedly killed millions of people.
What's the food like over there, I wonder? What are you going to eat?
You're eating children and the elderly, basically. When there's a famine, at least.
I mean, if there's a famine there, what do they have for food? They
probably feed the tourists really well to make sure that there's no issues there.
Yeah.
But
Dennis Rodman gets the banquet.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's a weird place. I've seen videos of, some of their metropolitan areas, and it looks normal on the surface, but there's still that whole weird, like, you love the leader, right? You're not thinking something bad about the leader, are you? And then you have to like cry every year. They have like 10 days of mourning for Kim Jong-il. Not one day, 10 straight days where you got to be like, oh God, and then make sure, like, if anyone's looking at you, you can't stop crying. Like, it's exhausting. I feel bad for the people.
Kim Jong-il doesn't look like he has problems finding food.
Yeah, no. This one's Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, he's eating everybody else's food apparently.
So if you go there for this trip, like if you were going to go there, Mark, do you get that haircut that he has?
Man, I don't know if I think he has more hair than me now.
Do you rock that haircut?
Yeah, I think you have to.
It is. Yeah, it is quite interesting the way he looks. I don't know. Very, very strange country. It is fascinating though. I hope that in our lifetimes we see North Korea and South Korea, come to some sort of a peace agreement and they can open the borders up there. But I don't know. At this point, it seems unlikely with this guy in power.
Yeah. I was going to say, Justin, I think when you're going through customs in North Korea, you have to get the haircut. They have a barber. It's like kind of how you pass through the metal detector. They also
and you get that. You get to rock one of those shirts that he wears. So it's like military ass kind of.
Yes. Would you like the
Clothing.
Kim Jong Un or the Zelensky? Which one would you prefer?
Dude, Kim Jong all day, dude.
All right. Let's get to the bad stuff. Hawaii
Mm.
has been devastated by these.
Yeah, it's very sad what's going on. I have a friend that was on vacation there right when this happened.
No
Wow.
way.
Oh yeah.
Was he on Maui?
It was her. She's on. Yeah, she was right next. She's right near it. She's like right around the corner from it. So it really messed up their vacation pretty bad. But she's okay. But she was giving me some information that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what would you do if you were a tourist? I mean, where do you run? You're not familiar with the area. Did she have to escape the hotel, or what?
They made them. They had to go to another side of the hotel. Yeah, they had to, like they were okay though. But the way the flames came, it kind of they were okay.
People jumped into the sea. Literally, they
Wow.
floated out to sea because it came so quickly.
Wow.
Do you think some of those people have been lost? Is that some of the deaths associated with people lost at sea, or they don't really know, or at this point,
Could
right?
be. There's 1,000 people.
Yeah,
1,000 people missing. The governor says, but he's stressed that doesn't mean that they're dead. They just can't be contacted. But they have at least 53 confirmed deaths. Last I checked,
That's a lot. That's a lot
for a fire. For a wildfire, that's
a
crazy.
lot. Yeah.
Did you see the conspiracy that's associated with this fire that's been going on?
I did see that. Yeah, the energy. They're saying it's an energy weapon. At first, it's laughable. You say that it's not possible. There is something weird about it, though. If you do look, there's a lot of places where buildings are incinerated and trees are standing there. I know trees have water in them, but still, it's a little weird that how many trees are still just standing there and how certain things are burned and other things are not. I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying I can see why there's some questions because it's a little strange. There's like boats that were burned that were way out in the water that near the fire. It's a little strange. I'm sure that there's an explanation for it, and I would like to hear a scientist or a fire expert come out and explain why that happens. But on the surface, it's a little strange.
Yeah, I was reading first of all this image that you're looking at here. Somebody was saying it's from Michigan. It wasn't associated with Hawaii, so that's the first thing. I did hear from some of my friends that are really into conspiracy theories, and they were all over this, saying it's some kind of an energy weapon, that it's a way to, they're trying to get. I said, well, what is the point of this? Like, why would they destroy Maui? I don't quite understand that, but they're saying this is about a mass movement to get people scared because of a global warming and that type of thing. But I agree, it is kind of weird with these fires. I mean, I know, there's so much greenery there. It's very unusual for so many green trees to burn like this, and the fires are breaking out all over the place. I mean, it does almost seem like it was arson started or something. It's very odd how these fires just broke out all over the island and then just swept through the island so quickly.
Is there a history of it? Have they had it before? Is there a history of it?
I think that they're calling this their worst natural disaster ever. I mean, I'm sure they get wildfires, but not like this. One of the conspiracies that Justin and I were talking about before the show, some people believe that Oprah and Jeff Bezos teamed up to set this fire so they could buy out everybody and then kind of reshape the island in their own image. Is it possible? Sure. But what I believe more, which is what you brought up, Justin, is that a company like BlackRock or even BlackRock would be capable of doing this. They have the money, they would have the means, they have the influence to cover up any investigations so that they can continue their campaign of buying up all the property in the United States and owning everything so that we will own nothing and be happy.
They have motive.
That was part of my friend who was in the conspiracy. He was bringing that up, that he had felt that was one of the things to buy up the property at lower rates, that they're going to try to buy up the island and stuff. One thing that is interesting about this energy weapon was I guess it was actually the reason why they brought it up was, I guess, the agency that's developing the energy weapon had actually said themselves that they were going to focus on the area over Hawaii as we're testing
Really?
weapons and stuff. Yeah, there's a part where they were talking about, I think of that article there, directed energy weapons, and then they were like mentioning that it basically they wanted to have it like in the section of the airspace that was incoming over the Hawaiian area. So I think that's how people connected the two. That they said, well, wait a minute, like it's ironic that they're that they just happened to mention Hawaiian airspace, and then these fires break out, which is never really, the island really hasn't. It's very rare for a wildfire in Hawaii, and I was reading yesterday. This is actually already the second biggest loss of death in wildfires in U.S. history. That was
Really?
yesterday. So it might actually go above that. I think the California fire from 2018. I think there was 85 people who died in that. That was the number one loss of life, but we're quickly approaching that in Hawaii.
Sure, it could easily exceed that in the coming days. Hawaii has had some weird stuff happen. Anyone remember the fake nuke threat from North Korea that had everyone in Hawaii thinking they were about to die?
Yeah, they put the announcement out that there was a nuke on its way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
No
and
one
they
also
also
this time.
They also spotted that mysterious UFO object in Hawaii. That was what do they call the Umagamba or whatever it's called, the thing that was outer space that they think maybe came from outside of our galaxy.
You're talking about Unami Burger.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. So maybe the aliens foresaw the energy weapon. They saw the future and they wanted to investigate this area. Maybe they came from outer space and they just happened to go over Hawaii. Why? Maybe putting it all together here.
Mother effers. Keep that in the middle of the ocean.
I'm out of the conspiracy.
It's the crap that looks like this, right? That looks like
it does. Yeah, they don't know. They're one of the scientists that studied it actually said it was a monitoring device or like a
recon.
Yeah, it was basically it fit all the, I guess it picked up speed when it got near the sun, and it's like the first time they actually observed something outside of our universe coming into our outside of our galaxy coming into our space. It was kind of, there it is, picture of it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like a giant cigar.
Yeah,
it's very odd, and it's first interstellar object, the first time that they've ever observed an interstellar object coming here from outer space, and that they actually named it after a Hawaiian name.
Here's an
observatory. Yeah,
Umami Burger.
Yeah,
Umami Burger. That's what I thought.
They call it an asteroid that you see from outside our solar system, but the truth is they really don't know what it is because it was acting very odd. It changed directions. It picked up speed, slowed down. It was acting like it was something that was not man, but basically some sort of artificial object. And there's been debate about it. Yeah, no one really knows what it is. It's, it could be just a, some sort of a, what do you call it? A drone or something.
Where is it now? Where's that craft now?
It flew out of our solar system, I believe. Correct?
Yeah. Let me look that up. Mama say, mama sa, mamakusa.
Mama.
I wonder if that's connected to what's going on. If you want to believe in the conspiracy theory, I mean, maybe they came to observe what's going on.
Where the hell are you?
I mean, who knows? But it's an interesting thing. I always wonder what that was because it's bizarre that, well, so far we've only ever found one object. You would think there'd be multiple asteroids if there was
it's somewhere. Well, it's somewhere beyond Neptune at this point. It said that it was going to pass beyond Neptune, Florida, where the lottery ticket was sold.
Somewhere beyond Neptune.
It's
Now,
beyond Neptune as of now. According to this Wikipedia article, it was projected to go beyond Neptune in 2022. So it's somewhere out there with Bobby Darin.
And if you look that up, you'll see at least one leading researcher has said it's of alien origin.
Oh,
I thought that was because he said there's really no other explanation for the way it's behaving. That is really very odd. It didn't really behave like an asteroid.
Well, people think that the fire conspiracy is because of the Air Force Research Laboratory that had devoted a whole wing to developing DEWs. Those are directed energy weapons for all air traffic intersecting Hawaiian airspace and territorial waters in 2007. So
yeah, that's what I was mentioning. Yeah, it was really odd that I think that's how they connected this energy weapon. And I mean, right now I saw Snopes had already said this is they looked into it and they said it's all a bunch of, as Biden would say, malarkey. But I threw that one in for you, Justin.
You're reading that left wing rag, Snow.
Yeah, but I just thought it was interesting now that right now, I don't know. I mean, I'm always open to these type of things, but it seems at this point, I mean, I don't really believe it. I'm going to just believe it was wildfires that got out of control. But it is interesting to mention that there is a big conspiracy theory.
Well, it's because they're saying that the hurricane force winds are kind of accelerating the fire, but it's a little strange that you would have hurricane force. I'm not saying there's not hurricane force winds or whatever, but trade winds or what have you, they're called, but whatever they're called. But I'm saying also, isn't that usually accompanied by rain? Like there should be some kind of precipitation usually with that stuff. I would, especially in Hawaii, I would think that there'd be rain, unless it's just wind. Maybe it's just wind, but usually if it's a hurricane, hurricanes usually have precipitation.
It's so hard to get like a green plant burn. I mean, I know they burn off areas in Brazil for grazing, but I mean, that's really a controlled fire where they have tires and stuff that they get the fires hot enough to burn off that shrubbery. And it just seems so odd that I agree with you that it's just a weird, when I first heard this, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, how did so much green trees and palm trees and shrubbery and undergrowth catch on fire? It just seems, they were saying, oh, well, they use this farmland and they stopped farming and they had a lot of, underbrush that had fuel in it. But I mean, when you try to set, like, say you ever take I don't know. Have you ever tried to set your green grass on fire? Like just as a kid, did you ever try to
Yeah, no, I've gone camping. Yeah, I've gone
really
camping.
Hard to do.
I've gone camping before, and you have to. The wood has to be seasoned. You have to find wood that's been sitting out for a long time. That's been properly. It's called properly seasoned wood. That's what you burn. You don't want to burn anything green. It will first of all cause a lot of smoke, and it's hard to get it to burn. So yeah, camping and stuff I've dealt with growing up. I've dealt with greenery that is problematic and get a fire started. So yeah, it's a little, like I said, it's just definitely some weird elements to this story that don't lend themselves to following the normal protocol of things. So I understand why people are a little suspicious. It makes sense.
Yeah, it is weird. Where are the fire companies and where were they? Didn't they have any preparation for this? Firewalls or anything? It's very odd.
I think it happened so quickly. And, it's an old part of Hawaii. And so maybe it was like a lot of structures that weren't really built to withstand something like this. Maybe they didn't expect it, could have just been caught off guard. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez are donating $100 million for the relief.
Wow.
They've started a fund. It's called the Maui Fund. And Jeff has personal ties to this area. Apparently, he purchased a 14-acre estate for $78 million in 2021. So, they're trying to get things going. So maybe he didn't do this so that he could buy it back. By the way, just as a little, as an aside, how much do these two look like they're in Madame Tussauds right now? He's got that look in his eyes, like the wax dummies that are always just like
Yeah.
looking off, and then she just looks like, and you can come up and take a picture with him. Really weird.
Yeah, I got a funny story about those wax sculptures. So years ago, when I worked in a casting office, there was this guy, and he used to always try to, he'd always come to my office and try to convince me he was going to be a big, big action star, that he did kung fu and karate and all this stuff, and everyone knew him, and all the celebrities. He was friends with all these celebrities, and I should give him all this work because he's already famous and he's going to be famous. So I was just like, this guy's kind of a quack. When you deal with extras casting, you deal with quacky, weird, quirky people anyway. But this guy was exceptionally that way. Anyway, so he comes to my office and he gives me this. One time we're doing an open casting call. He's already registered, and he shows up to the office and he has this folder, and he's like, "Look, man, I know people are calling me liars, saying I'm not, friends with celebrities. I'm friends with all these celebrities. I just brought this as proof so that you kind of know that I'm telling the truth." And he has these printed out pictures. He must have went to like Walgreens and printed these photos out, and he was trying to pass them off as him hanging out with celebrities. It was him at Madame Tussauds. He went up to all these pictures of celebrities and made it look like he was friends with them. This guy really thought he was going to fool me, that I was going to believe it. I could see the wax. I'm like, bro. And then he got so offended that I questioned him, and he ran out. It was crazy. It was crazy. And he tried to do it a second time with different celebrities. I guess he went back and got other photos. And I'm like, it just was like, man, you really realize how people are out there. But that's my connection to Madame Tussauds. So
don't let him get his hands on Mid-Journey.
Bringing back memories. These photos are bringing back memories.
Yeah,
it was funny.
Nowadays, he could create really convincing fake photoshops of that with Mid-Journey. So.
Yeah, this was 15 years ago.
Is it Tussaud or Tussaud? I've heard.
Well,
both.
Usually in French you don't pronounce the D, so Tussaud, right? Oh, do you pronounce the D? I don't know.
Mark,
I can't speak
Mark,
French
you're
anymore.
French, right? You're from France.
I'm just gonna act like I'm gonna say it's Trousseau.
I can't
have no
speak
idea.
French
I'm just saying that, but I have no idea. But
hey, Siri,
have you
how
been
do I
to
pronounce
the
Madame
museum?
Tussauds?
I'd love to see it, but
to the
it's right
wax
here in
museum?
town. Yeah, it's right here in town. I haven't even visited it.
I went to the one in Vegas once.
Mm.
It was all right. They look pretty real.
Here we go. We're gonna get the pronunciation correct. Ready? How to pronounce?
Looking at how to pronounce the name of this famous wax museum in London, there are also a number of smaller museums in other major cities. It was founded by wax sculptor Marie Tussaud. Hence the name of the museum. How do you go about pronouncing it? Madame Tussaud.
Madame Tussauds.
That's what I thought.
Why does he have
Madame
a fake accent?
Torso. Got it.
Madame Tussauds.
Oh, that's interesting.
I love it. Fantastic stuff.
By the way, before we go, I want to throw something out there. Lil Tay still alive.
Yeah, listen, we
great.
talked about that. How TMZ hadn't reported it meant that there was more to the story, and we were right.
That's
course.
right.
And but then her manager came out and tried to say that he thinks she masterminded it.
Oh, geez, I would never believe that. Really? Wow, that's a surprise. Imagine
It's a horrible joke to do, though. To be honest with you,
terrible.
Even if whether she did it or someone else hacked it and did it, wrote that on her Instagram.
Come on,
it's just a horrible thing to write and to get people upset over somebody's death needlessly. It's just a horrible thing to do.
But we sniffed it out there. We knew there was something suspicious in the story. We saw that story had some holes like Swiss cheese, and we saw it, and we kind of were cautious, and we was right, man. We knew that.
I want to ask you something, since you guys both are familiar with that media website, TMZ. I saw a video with little Tay. They posted on their site. Where Little Tay comes up, and it's like the last time we saw Little Tay, and she comes up and gives one of the reporters some shit. And was that a setup, do you think, or do you think that she actually talked like that when people met her? I thought, what the hell is this 9-year-old talking to people like that? Do you think this is all?
Is that you? Did you shoot that, Dante? Was that your footage?
I never got Little Tay. I got Bad Baby a bunch, but I never got Little Tay.
Who was it? Oh, we talked about that. Who was it?
I think it was one of the night guys. But I don't know if it was like prearranged setup, but I think she just,
Probably.
if she sees a camera, she snaps into character. You know, but if
Yeah,
she's just like sitting in a restaurant talking to her, like, "Hey, can I have a blah blah blah?" You know, can I have some water? I don't think
Yeah.
she's like, "Yo, bitch."
It was kind of funny, actually. I mean, she kind of just really laid into the guy, and it was just kind of
I
alarming.
wonder who
And
it was. It a nighttime guy?
I just was wondering if they had set it up. Like, I go, is she thinking of this off the top of her head, and just, you know, or that does her mom, did her mom or brother prep her in case she ran into a reporter what to say, or did the reporter say, "Hey, say this to me"? I don't know. It was kind of so perfect that you almost wonder like how this came about. It was kind of funny. Like the reporter asks her a question, and she just slams into him, like, you know.
I wonder. I'm
bitch.
curious. I'm curious now who it was. I'm going to try to find out who. What you can't. Was it a nighttime guy? You said.
I think so, because
like
it looked like she was going into either Nobu or the nice guy.
I wonder
Yeah,
if it was
Definitely
Lance.
wasn't like a daytime restaurant.
I wonder if it was Lance that shot it.
No,
Oh,
I
it
don't
was very,
remember someone
very
going.
interesting.
"Hey,
It
Oh,
was
it's
on their
nice guy.
website. Yeah.
It's nice guy. It's nice guy. I see
Yeah,
it.
I was just curious, but if something
I'm gonna-
like that,
I'm gonna-
if
I'm gonna
that-
play
what
it,
if
'cause
she was
I wanna-
like that. Can you play? Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna play the video because I'm curious to see who it is that shot it. If it was it was May of 2018. So
Let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah.
God, these ads are annoying. Man,
I
ever
mean,
since they
she had an interesting character. I'll give her that much. I mean,
it was obnoxious, but it was like kind of fun.
Yeah.
Let's see who it is. I'll
Yeah,
let you know who it is right now. Hold on.
I just give
Oh,
her
it
credit.
was a trainee.
Wow.
It was a trainee. We had a trainee. It was this trainee guy. It wasn't little Tavy closing $1 million deals.
Yeah, you know what happened. Like, why are you
Wait,
asking me this?
who was that?
Yeah. It was just very funny, and I thought, wow, for a little kid to think of saying this was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm
Made a
sure
nice-
she just
made a
has
funny
like
clip.
she has lines that are ready to go. Here we go.
Yeah.
What's up, little Tay? How you doing? I like those headphones. I heard you got $1 million deal for these headphones. True?
Yeah, you already know what it is. It's a $1 million deal.
Really?
Why are you asking, bro?
Well,
You behind on your rent?
I am not. Let me ask you, Takashi 69 got dropped from this. What do you think about?
Multi-rich, I finna get richer, bitch.
Fantastic. Thank you, miss.
Wow.
Yeah, she just like jumps on his shit.
I think
Kind of
that
funny.
that was a trainee that we had. That was because that's no that I don't recognize that voice. That's nobody that I know. So it must. I think it was a trainee that was, and we threw him to the wolves and say, "Here, go."
I think she's older than 9 years old. She looked pretty like tall and you know, repeating those lines.
Closing $1 million deals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anything else? Any last words before we wrap up?
Dante, I'm closing $1 million deals, man.
All right, little Jay.
Are you behind on your rent, man? Why are you asking me, man?
I will be.
And our prayers are with the people in Maui. It's just really horrible what's happened over there. I hope they can find some of these. I hope that they can find some of these people who are missing, obviously alive, and they get back on their feet as soon as possible. It's just really heartbreaking situation over there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if you're looking for something to do, a cool vacation, go to the Pyongyang golf course in North Korea. It's open to the public now. So have fun.
Like a good time.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.
Take care.